Hello, me again. Another Constructorbots, Dinobots review. As I've done the other two, it's like we're on to the third one. Now, for those of you who've watched other people's reviews of these characters will know that Strafe, the twin-headed pterosaur, is getting the old big thumbs up from most of the reviewers. Everybody seems to be gushing about him. They seem to love him. For me personally, he's not my favourite. Like the others, he has faults and issues. I mean, he has less wrong with him than the others, that much is said, but he's still not perfect. And I'm not a massive fan of him, even though he has got a lot going for him. But let's see what all this fuss is about. Here he is. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this guy, especially if you put him next to the others, is how big he is. He's considerably larger, like taller and wider than the others, largely due to his wings, which are part of his, dino gimmick. But that's the best thing about this guy. His dino gimmick doesn't take up that much space. It's fairly flush to his back, apart from the saddle for the Dino Rider, and it's like spread out linear, sort of sideways. When you look at him from the side, and he's like dead straight, and turn him round, and he's got all this. So because of that, he's quite large. Other things of note in his robo mode, he's got a reasonably sizable sword, unlike Slug. His fisty paws are also not quite as big as Slug's either. Also, they've got two sets of clips in, one for the fist and one for the paw. Wonder why that is. Another thing of note, his breastplate. The other two, their breastplate is in like a metallic gunmetal colour. His is in this sort of metallic, sort of blue colour, which is different. He also has a full set of armour pieces. And his feet, which are long and thin and pointy, as they are all, is made up of his dino heads splayed out to form feet. He's also got quite a nice head sculpt, probably one of the best head sculpts of the three. Again, his head sculpt, his helmet is quite larger than the other two, mainly because of this crest on the top. So there we have Strafe, and he's pretty good. In robo mode, he's very impressive. Looks to all the world like a robot. There's not much dino kibble hanging off him. Certainly not on his back anyway. If you can overlook his feet and the fact he's holding a spinal column for a sword, he's pretty impressive. And he has got a very good robo mode. That much I agree on. Compared to the others, he's got a lot going for him. But as I said, he's by no means perfect, and most of his faults come in dino mode. Also, because of the way he's laid out, his dino mode is somewhat different from the other two. I'll explain. Transforming him, pretty much the same. You move stuff around, flip stuff around. Now, interesting thing about his is his head. Now, he's the one, Constructorbot Dino who, it actually says in the instructions you need to move his head or revolve his head. The others, you say just leave it where it is. But on this guy, you turn it round 180 to face backwards. Then when you flip him over on his front, get his tail, and you clip it on and it covers up his head quite nicely. And you open the wings, and you know, there's the back half of the pterosaur virtually done. Front half. Close the feet up, straighten them out without the ball joints popping off, and then you just need to flip them round 180 degrees so that they're the right way up. And there's his front end. Now, this is where things get a bit tricky, doing his legs. Now, you'd think they're quite simple. Well, they look simple. You basically turn the lower legs around 180 degrees without them popping out. Which they always do. Straighten the feet up. Let's do this down here. And then, this is the hard bit. You've got to get his legs sort of bent forwards. Like that. And then you stand him up. And getting his legs positioned correctly is a right ball ache. It really is. Now, he's very front heavy. You know, he likes tipping over forwards at the slightest provocation. And I reckon the main reason for this is because of the length of his necks. Now, in my opinion, they are way too long. Way too long. They're ridiculously long. I know pterosaurs have quite long necks, but nowhere near as long as that. I mean, his neck is as long as the rest of his body. That can't be right. And another thing, his heads, dino heads, they open and close, which is great, but they don't shut any more than that, unless you modify them, in which case they do shut a bit more, and even then it's not great. Again, right, it's an absolute pig to pose in dino mode, mainly because of his legs. And I'm not a huge fan of these extra long necks, but as with Grimlock and Slug, there is a way you can fix him, which involves taking bits off. So, again, these little upper leg parts, take them off. Turn the other leg parts sideways. Clip them on. And then you've got to turn the heads the right way up. And there you go. Now I think that's a lot better. It also helps with his weight distribution as well, because he hasn't got, you know, stuff hanging right off the end here. I think he looks better like that, but that's just my personal opinion. His gimmick is flapping wings, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. He's got his saddle for a Dino Rider on the back, and so that's Strafe. I mean, what's with the two heads? I mean, again, Michael Bay just doing his own thing with these characters and giving him a completely new name. What was wrong with Swoop? I mean, we all love Swoop. Swoop's got a rich history in Transformers, especially with his, you know, his run-ins with Dive Bomb. So, I know if they'd have done a single-headed pterosaur, it would have been probably difficult to transform him. Especially the fact that this guy is effectively transformed back to front compared to the others. You know, the front's the back and the back's the front. So legs become the head and the arms become the legs. But, you know, I suppose his Dino mode isn't that bad. It's alright. Again, it's quite big. It's got an impressive wingspan. But he's not my favourite. So, again, most people will pick him up because of the reviews, the positive reviews that other guys have given about him. But I personally, not that keen on him. My favourite's Grimlock. He's the best of the bunch for me. Yeah, so that's my pen-off on Strafe. I will thinking about doing a blog basically talking about, you know, my history of Transformers from when I was a kid to the present day. As and when I get around to doing that, I don't know. Tomorrow I'm planning on going over to Toys R Us to pick up a few more things, most notably the Dino Riders for these guys, and I might pick up one or two deluxes as well. Scorn, most definitely. Oh, and before I go, the stockists of Transformers Age of Extinction toys in the UK are Toys R Us. Some of the bigger toy shops will have them in, and the other main distributor or stockist is going to be Argos. Now, for those in America who don't know who Argos is, they're like a catalogue company whereby you can buy the stuff, you know, mail order, but they have stores in town. You can go in, it's a warehouse, they have a counter, you fill in go through the catalogue, you look at what you want, you fill in a number, take it to the till, and they go out the warehouse and back and fetch it. I got, you know, these guys from my local Argos, and I went in there again the other day to see what they'd got, and they hadn't got anything more than what I'd seen before. But I did manage to pick up this. The Argos Transformers Ultimate Guide. Now, I picked it up, I thought, oh, this will hopefully list all the Transformer related goodies that Argos is going to stock. And it does. But unfortunately for, you know, Transformer collectors, read it and weep, because Argos is not going to stock much in the way of the Generations line. In fact, according to this, the only ones they're going to be doing is Leader Class, Grimlock and Optimus Prime at 45 quid a pop. The rest of it's all, you know, one-step changes, Power Punch, Quick Draw, Flip Changes, Titan Heroes, Chomp and Stomp. There's even a massive, you know, Grimlock, you know, Constructor Bot coming out that says it's probably going to be in Wave 2. There's the Creo stuff, and there's all these ready control cars and Scalextric type sets, and other related merchandise in the back. So I'm kind of disappointed that Argos aren't doing the full range. They're only doing the gimmick toys, and they're not doing the good stuff. So that's kind of disappointing. So if you want the good stuff, you're going to have to go to Toys R Us, which for me is like a 25-mile drive. But it is what it is. And us in the UK, we always get the worst of everything, because we're such a small market. The Americans and just don't see us as a viable target for sales of stuff. And even if they do send stuff over here, we have to pay through the nose for it, because that's just the way things are. So there we go. Just done all 3 of these Dinobot reviews for you. I am, like I said, hopefully going to go to Toys R Us tomorrow. I'm hoping to pick up the Dino Riders to go with these, and then I might do a review of those. And I might get a deluxe or 2. But I will see you again soon, hopefully. Goodbye.